Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Adrian Teo, and as co-chair with Mark Hess of the New Bedford Seaport Cultural District, I want to welcome you to our very first annual meeting. And thank you for being part of the district, and give us a hand. We did a great job to get here in a year, right? So before I move on, I do want to give a shout out to some of our representatives that are here. I noticed Councilman Lopes and Councilman Martins are here. Where are you guys? I saw Joe and Steve before. There they are in the back. I need you to come fix the lights in our neighborhood, Steve. And also Ian Trombley, who's a new aide in Bill Keating's office. Congress Keating, there he is. Wave your hands so they don't see you. And we've got some other folks we'll acknowledge here shortly. So before we go on further, what we thought we would do is I'll turn to Mark and give you a little background about what the Cultural District is, and then we'll go through some points about what's going on. Mike Metzler will walk us through some of the goals that we set for ourselves, those outcomes, and then ask you to actually, old school, fill in some ideas for the coming year so we can start looking at new goals and tactics for next year. So let me turn this over to Mark to get into the next part of this presentation.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming. It's been 12 months or so since we got the district off the ground, so I might want to look back in time here to the discussion of what the district is and how this came about. Cultural districts are state designated districts throughout Massachusetts. I don't know what they're up to now. I think when we started there were 17 or 19 in place, and 25
now.
25.
Yeah.
And there are certain benefits to being recognized by the state in terms of being included in their marketing material and on their website. But it also is an opportunity for us to put a frame around a lot of the good things that we're already doing in the downtown New Bedford, both in terms of bringing our organizations together, both the arts and culture community and the business community, and importantly, what we found is having an official line of communication between the downtown business and art community with the city, because the city's got a big investment in providing the valuable manpower and some marketing dollars to support the district. So it's a map, it's a line around a map, it's a state designation, but most importantly, it's an opportunity for us to sit down and communicate, recognize the good things that we're doing, and start to plan in an organized way and share what we think we can be going forward. And we'll remind you what the map looks like and who's involved at this point, and then we'll turn over to Mike.
So when you look at the map, actually, Beth, go ahead and step in on this. So the map is 18 to 20 city blocks downtown, and it looks familiar to you. It overlaps a lot of other areas of downtown. It crosses over the National Park. It crosses over some couple of historical districts that are designated. There are about 11 historic districts in New Bedford. And so the footprint is one that had to have a particular qualifier to it. You must be able to walk it. That's the key. And that's why it's set up the way it is. It has to be walkable. And when it was set up, the MCC came and walked what we originally proposed and shrank it radically. And then, of course, you know, nature hates to be shrunk, so we expanded a little bit, and we ended up with a compromise. So this is the current footprint of the formal part of the cultural districts, but there are a number of partners that are outside the culture district. And the common thread is, as long as you're doing programming that's connected to the cultural district, you can be in the footprint and you can be outside the footprint for now. Because we've got the size of a city that you can have 3 or 4 different cultural districts, each one having a different theme, being in a different part of the city. So look at this one as the first one to kind of get it off the ground, to see what it can do, to test drive it, and then ask the larger questions, are there other parts of town that would benefit from similar kinds of organization? So it's inclusive and exclusive in an odd, so well, we do odd things in New Bedford, but it's a nice way to be inclusive and exclusive and to try it out and let others learn from our mistakes so they look better, of course, but also that's the way you move forward and evolve in the process. So what we want to do here is, as you know, Mark and I are representatives of what's called the Executive Committee, and what we are is we're part of the tag team. One of the things that you'll start to see, and we'll acknowledge here, the members of the Executive Committee, is that it's wherever there's an arts and culture member, there's a commercial member. And we try to maintain that balance in the membership. We'll also continue to grow that with the Executive Committee. So Lee Heald could not be here. She's got another appointment, so you know AHA is very involved in this. Lee Blake is here from the New Bedford Historical Society. Lee. Rosemary Gill could not be here today, but I see her partner. He's in the back there. Jason, right? Justin. Justin's in the back. We've got Marianne Rogers. Is Marianne here? No. Not here today. Terry Burnett, I saw her. She's here from Whale. And we've got Terry Walkowitz. I didn't see Terry come in. She was very involved with the New Bedford Symphony. Angela Johnson, of course, with the New Bedford Economic Development Council. Diane Arsenault, I don't think I saw her, from downtown New Bedford. Christina Colony, who's here representing the city's interest. And the person who really put a lot of sweat equity into this project, Dagny Ashley from the City of New Bedford Tourism and Marketing. So I think what we're going to do now is we're going to introduce the man that I call the godfather of the cultural district with a great deal of affection. Mike Metzler is part of the reason we're all together. He was that driving force not only to kind of gently prod us to collaborate and work together, but actually moved us forward and kept moving us so that we would actually come to this point where we actually have matured enough to actually do one special thing, have an annual meeting where we're going to report some outcomes to you. So Mike is going to walk us through some updates on the district, but also to reaffirm what were the approved goals and objectives for the cultural district that we put before the MCC with the application. And that's the connection. Those were the things that were vetted and then approved by the MCC for us to follow. So Mark, should we turn this over to Mike?
I think so.
All right, we'll do this. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you. Before I start, I'd like to ask Christina Conley to come up here. She has a message from Anita Walker, who's the Executive Director of the Mass Cultural Council. Christina?
So I also want to deliver congratulations to everybody involved, from the mayor. He couldn't be here, he had a conflict. But we also invited some MCC representatives, Mary Jenkins and Anita Walker, to attend, as well as Representative Corey Atkins, who's very active in advocating at the legislature on the House side for funding for tourism and arts and culture. She's the chair of that committee. Unfortunately, none of them could make it. MCC has something going on right now as we speak with the Adams Grant, which is where Lee Heald is as well. But Anita did kindly offer to have us read some sort of a few words of congratulations. So I will read that. Massachusetts cultural districts enhance experiences for visitors and thus attract more tourist dollars and tax revenue. They attract artists, retail, and entrepreneurs of all kinds, enhancing property values and making communities more attractive. And they help local arts organizations improve the quality and range of their public programs so that more local families can benefit from them. We knew from the beginning that New Bedford was uniquely poised to benefit from this initiative because of its long and successful track record in integrating arts and culture into community development efforts. The Seaport Cultural District contains all the key elements of a rich visitor experience: a diverse range of venues to learn and explore, distinctive architecture and urban spaces, shopping and retail options, and lots of arts and cultural activities. The MCC is working with its supporters in the legislature to restore funding for the agency so we can help communities like New Bedford advance these districts with grants, technical assistance, and marketing. We look forward to working with you in that effort. And that's from Anita Walker, Executive Director of the MCC.
Thanks, Christina. First of all, I'd like to say it's really a pleasure, and I was pleased to have the executive committee invite me back a few weeks ago to sit with them and to talk about the achievements of the cultural district in its first year. So we had a great meeting at Cork, and I facilitated the process. And I was really pleased because I kind of missed everybody. We had worked together in the application process, and it was just so much fun at the end to go and have the Mass Cultural Council vote our designation and so forth. And so I've been kind of wondering, well, how have things been going, since that time. So I do some little bit of consulting work since my retirement, and that's the downside of being a consultant. You come in and you work with people and you get things done, and then you leave, and you just hope that everything goes well after that. So I'm very pleased to report that things have gone very well, that the Cultural District Executive Committee has accomplished a lot, and I should say that it's more than just that. It's what's happened in the community, what's happened in the cultural district that all of you have done over the years. So it's not just about what has the executive committee done, it's what is the combination, the collaboration of people in arts, culture, and history. What have you done together that's sort of new and it's been a great success within the last year. So when we put the application together, the state required that we come up with a set of goals. And I always would say that that's really the most important part of the process, because that's what the purpose of the cultural committee or the cultural district is, to bring people together, to collaborate, to set a set of goals together, and then together to action on those goals and make them happen. So what you have in front of you, should have picked it up at the table, there's the full document that was in our application that gives you the 7 goals, and then under each of the goals, it's what we outlined in our application as to what actions or tactics we would take that relate to those particular goals. So what I'm going to do is to go through each of those goals really quickly. I'm not going to read the slides to you, and I'll just say up front that this isn't everything. You know, we consulted with the executive committee, with a few other people, you know, kind of like give us the important things you thought happened. So I guess I'll apologize in advance if I missed anything, but there's so many things that have happened. So, and by the way, often things are really in more than one category. They overlap into other categories, but we've tried to put them in the category that we thought fit most closely. So first, attracting artists and cultural enterprises. You can just read down the list of things that have happened within the last year. I just would like to highlight that first one, that there's a lot of economic development work that's happening in the downtown, and people who from the executive committee and from organizations that are represented on the executive committee, the UMass Dartmouth, Hall-Keene, AHA, NBEDC, they've been working together to talk about what needs there are in the downtown to have residences and studios for artists and others who are involved in the cultural community in the downtown. But you can sort of read down a number of the new things that have happened, and some of the things on these slides are, they haven't been fully accomplished yet. You'll see that, but the planning and the ideas, the creation is taking place within this first year, so we think that it's really important to highlight those too. Encourage business and jobs. You can read down the list, talk about new restaurants that are in vacant store spaces, et cetera, et cetera. The first one I'd like to highlight, and again, in the economic development efforts within the downtown, that the cultural district designation was very useful in the application process to get considered by the state for special funding for economic development in the downtown. And we always said that even though we really don't have any direct revenue, at least as yet, within the cultural district organization, that just having that designation in the downtown will help other people get money for other efforts, because we end up getting more favored treatment, we get more points and more attention, because we brought the people in the arts and culture community together in a collaborative way, and that's already made a difference. And I guess pretty soon we'll have an announcement as to what money will come from all of that. Establish the district as a tourist destination. We're really, really lucky to have Dagny and her office be the administrators of the cultural district, and they've done a great job putting a lot of marketing efforts together about the cultural district and marketing and events. I'm not sure if I missed that. That's the marketing slide. I went too far forward here. That on the marketing side, the linkage of the cultural district into Destination New Bedford, we wanted that. We wanted it to be that as we work on tourism and the kind of ways in which we get people excited and learning about our downtown, that we integrate the cultural district into all of that. And Dagny and her staff, with the help of others, has done a really great job. I don't know if you've seen the video, but there's just a wonderful video that talks about the cultural district. I'm heading.
You got this. There's 2 slides. That's it.
I missed one. Events. All right, events. I mean, how could you not put the Charles W. Morgan Homecoming as the first event? I think maybe it was Adrian or maybe it was Mark was saying the other day that in fact some cultural districts in the state, what they do in a year is one big event. So there's the Morgan, one big event in a long list of other events that have taken place during the last year. So you can quickly take a look at that. We got the Folk Festival and we got the Jazz Festival on there, Eric. So, okay. Encourage business and jobs. I'm still going the wrong way. Enhance property values. A lot of talk and excitement, and really feeling proud about the holiday pop-up gallery featuring regional artists. That's an idea that's been around for a little while, but really came to fruition during this last year, and it was very successful. You see a lot of beautification efforts going on in the downtown, and that's an important augmentation of what happens in arts and culture. Is the beautification of the city. The streetscape that we have here is really important to the overall experience in art, culture, and history. Bike racks, trash receptacles, very important to culture, right? As you're walking around galleries and being at events and so forth. Preserving and reusing historic buildings. There's a number of projects that are in place. Terry Bernard is here from Whale. This is a list, a lot of excitement very recently about the First Baptist Church and what's going to happen there over the next couple of years. Different organizations in the community working together on that. You can just look out the windows here and see the expansion of the Whaley Museum. You can see the improvements on the Z, which are really outstanding. Fostering local cultural development. When we talked about this one in the application process, we thought that there are not as many artists as we would like to have in the downtown, are living in the downtown or have their presence, their studios in the downtown, but there are a lot of them outside of the downtown that do. And we really want to bring them into the downtown. We want people in the downtown, people around the city, tourists and so forth, to see the work of our artists who aren't necessarily located in the downtown. And the Seaport Art Walk, which was spearheaded by the Harbor Development Commission, is really a great opportunity for that. I've seen it happen in other cities, and that's going to be happening beginning this summer. The planning's been pretty much completed, I guess. I'm sure there's still a lot of work to do, but that's a great thing. The 54th Regiment mural, that's been in development for how long, Adrian? About 2 years, and that's happening. It's going to be there, and an important part of our history here in New Bedford will be depicted here. And the great thing about murals, I feel, is that people who know nothing about the city, they come into the city and they look at something as big as that and say, what is this all about? And they learn something that made New Bedford an important place, particularly in the past, and it really stands out. It's obvious that it stands out. Sailing to Freedom, New Bedford and the Underground Railroad program. Lee Blake told me about this, and I think it's really exciting this summer. We have money to bring teachers from around the country for 2 weeks into New Bedford and experience our history on the Underground Railroad and the whole freedom movement that took place here in New Bedford. So that will be a great time for us. With that, I'll turn it over to Dagny.
Thank you, Mike. So now, let's have some fun. Not to say that wasn't fun, but let's have even more fun.
Did my best.
No, you were great. Thank you. You know we're so happy to have you back on our team. Thank you. And I also want to say thank you to Adrian and Mark. They've been extremely instrumental in this process over the year with our cultural district meetings. So thank you, Mark and Adrian. So, as Adrian mentioned, there's some sheets on the Destination New Bedford table. Please take one and give us your ideas. It could be wild, crazy. I know I've talked to a few of you and you have some really good ideas. Jeff, Jill, just throwing it out there. You have some good ideas, write them down. We want to share them at our committee. We want to see if it's something we can help you out with within the Seaport Cultural District. We did that at the beginning during the designation process, asking people about the names of the district, and we got some really good feedback from the community. So please take time to get a form and fill it out. And then leave it at the table, or you can leave it with Joan. Joan, raise your hand. can leave it with Joan. She'll collect them for me. And then if you want to be included on the Destination New Bedford monthly e-newsletter, which I think most of you are, but I may be missing someone, just put your email on there and we'll include that on the newsletter on some of the feedback we got for your ideas. Monthly. Usually around the first or second week. Right now, since I'm solo, maybe a little bit later. But you will get one. So the next thing is, let's go, logo. We talked a lot about branding the Seaport Cultural District, coming up with a new logo. Right now we are using the not so much logo, it's a sign of the New Bedford Seaport Cultural District that you'll see in the back both tables. So we're kind of using that as our makeshift logo, but it's not really a logo. That's the signage that we have put up. We put 2 signs in on Elm Street and on the Zeitarian Garage, and those are designated by the state, by MCC, to have 2 signs in the city. So we like to come up with our own logo, our own identity, our branding. So we want your input. So you'll see on that back table, there's some little round stickers. Please go to the back table, take a sticker, vote on your best one. You can see there's 2 different color palettes. So there's colors A and C. So vote on, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 logos. Vote on which one you like. You want to vote more than once? Please do so. And then we'll send that around in the e-newsletter too to see which one, which logo was voted the number 1. And then become a member organization. We're looking for partners. We're looking for members. We're hoping in the next few months to do a membership drive. As you can see, I won't read it word for word. Anyone can be a member of the district. You can be within the district, outside of the district, as long as you're doing programming within the district. We are doing some new things this year for marketing. We're doing some window decals, so you'll have a decal once you become a member, whether you're within the district or whether you're outside the district. You'll get a window decal saying you're part of the cultural district. We're also producing a new map and guide that we'll put in all our visitor centers, so when people ask what is that, and we'll give it to you as well as partners and members, so when people ask what is the cultural district, you'll have that readily available at your fingertips. So we hope to have that done by the end of May, but give or take some days on that. Yes. So the applications are on that table. Anything that I'm speaking about right now is right on that table. But Adrian just mentioned a good point. We have the Destination New Bedford app. We are updating it pretty much constantly right now because there's new businesses coming on board. As we mentioned before, there's new restaurants. So we have to update it quite frequently. But check out the Destination New Bedford app. It is free for Android and iPhone. And we also have the Seaport Cultural District listed on there as under the Explore tab. And we hope to expand that as well within the app. Right now it's in its infancy stages of an app, so we're still learning more and more about it, and we'll add to it. But I think that's a really good, useful tool on promoting the Seaport Cultural District. So you'll see the cards on that table as well. So, last but not least, we are going to do some appreciation awards. But before I do, I just want to mention that we used a local artist. Her name is Megan Gates, and she's currently a student, an MFA student at UMass Dartmouth. She has a strong focus in ceramics, and she's been working with clay since she was 9 years old, back in Berkeley, California, where she grew up. She makes sculptural work as well as pottery that is inspired by nature. So we asked Megan to come up with something that represents the Seaport Cultural District. And she came up with this inspired wave, ocean, and it was just absolutely gorgeous, and we couldn't thank her enough for doing that. So if you... I'm sorry? Thank you. So, and we thought that would be an appropriate award for the Seaport Cultural District. So not only is it an award, it's a sculpture that you can put on your mantle. Right. So I will start with the first award, Appreciation Award. These awards recognize and encourage individuals, businesses, and cultural organizations whose extraordinary creative achievement or contribution have made an impact in the New Bedford Seaport Cultural District. Our first award goes to Bristol County Savings Bank. They've been a longtime supporter of City Celebrates, which added new programming to the district this year and a spectacular fireworks display. They also sponsored holiday happenings all month long in the Cultural District, complete with Santa Claus, horse and carriage rides, and carolers. Bristol County Savings Bank continued sponsorship brings vibrancy to the Cultural District, and we thank them tremendously and look forward to working with them again on this year's City Celebrates and holiday happenings in the Cultural District. Accepting the award today is Pete Seeley with Bristol County Savings Bank. Pete?
Oh, pictures or?
Oh, you want to take pictures, Angela?
Sorry. Thank you. Sure, I'll just take it. This is actually a really cool award. This is probably the coolest award I've ever accepted on behalf of the bank. I mean, maybe I can take it home with me. Right?
I won't
I
tell.
don't think Pat
won't tell.
and Michelle will let me do that, right? Anyway, the bank is certainly grateful and pleased to help the Seaport Cultural District. For those of you here who know us as a bank, you know that we support a lot of local not-for-profits, primarily in the areas of economic development, low-income housing, and education, primarily education. So this is just one more thing that we'd like to help support, and we'll continue to do so. So I think you already put a plug in for next year, I guess. So
Yes,
I
I
guess,
did. You noticed that one, huh?
Yeah, if we can get another award like this, I think it's probably a real possibility. So, thank you. Yeah, get a different artist. There you go. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So our next appreciation award goes to the New Bedford Local Cultural Council. They are a strong supporter of the cultural district and have been since our designation. Deck the Windows this past December had over 50 businesses or more, am I correct in that number, Jill? In the cultural district that participated in adopting a window or door to decorate. A huge success at the helm of the local cultural council headed by Jill Horton-Sims and her council, who volunteers to improve the quality of life in New Bedford. Jill's innovative and creative programming infused the cultural district with a new holiday event, which we hope they continue year after year. We thank you for your partnership, and we look forward to working with you on even more initiatives in the Seaport Cultural District. And accepting the award today is Jill Horton-Sims, and I believe members of the LCC. Woo, great team. Yay.
So grab it with care.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, thank you. This is even more fun. I love it. And thank you, Mike, for all the help that you've done with working with everybody. Mark, Adrian, Dagny, all of you, everybody. We all work so hard because we love New Bedford. I'd like to introduce our council that's here today. We currently have 14 members, and I'd like to start from this end. Jane Richardson, Jessica Bergoli, Pat Kumi Thornton, Matt Aruda, and Allison Wells. And these are even more fun people to work with. And, you know, we've got our hands full, and we love what we do. We're really dedicated, and we're always trying to make it better, make, you know, information get out there to everybody so that everybody has an equal opportunity to apply. There are 329 councils in Massachusetts, of which New Bedford is 4th, and the Mass Cultural Council considers us one of their model councils, so we're proud of that as well. So I think that's about all I said, but the big announcement is that yes, we are going to do Deck the Windows again. We're starting to plan. And we're expanding into the North End. We'll be working with the North End folks up there and with the South End as well. So we're going to be developing this whole program and different events, different times, and so forth for the awards and the voting. So it should bring everybody out all across the city. That's our hope at any rate. So if anybody wants to help get involved, have any suggestions, ideas, we're in. I mean, we'd love to have it. And I'd also like to thank Terry Wolkowitz, who couldn't be here tonight. Terry was really the impetus and the juice that got everything going last year. And she's a lot of fun, and I hope that she'll join us again this year. So thank you all very much for being here, and we appreciate this award. Thank you, Dagny, for all you do.
Thank you.
Okay.
Congratulations.
So on that note, I just wanted to say again, thank you all for attending, for being here, for supporting the Seaport Cultural District. Thank you to the committee. Thank you to Mark, Adrian, for an amazing year at the Seaport Cultural District. Thank you to our award recipients. And I want to thank Buzzards Bay Coalition. I think we have a couple. Mark, thank you very much for using this beautiful conference room. And thank you to M&C. Thank you for great food and drink.
Hi, I'm Taya Leone, and you're watching New Bedford Cable Network. Good for you.